Hey, Heartland fans! Welcome back to Next Door, your ultimate home for everything Heartland. Whether you're here for the heart-wrenching emotional arcs, the scenic Alberta landscapes, or the unforgettable moments shared by the Fleming Borden family, you've come to the right place. We know this show means more than just entertainment. It's a connection to a world many of us hold dear, a place where family, healing, and love ride together. And today, we're diving into what might be the most emotional and highly anticipated episode in the history of the series, Heartland Season 19, Episode 1, Ty Borden's Grand Return. Yes, you heard that right. After all the heartbreak, all the longing, and years of wondering what if, Ty is back. Not in a flashback, not in a dream, he's truly back. And his return doesn't just stir memories, it sends shockwaves through every relationship on the Heartland Ranch. In this video, we'll take a deep look at how the show builds this monumental return from Amy's emotional turmoil and Lindy's innocent wonder to Jack's grounded wisdom, Lou's complicated grief, Georgie's maturity, and Tim's internal struggle. But at the center of it all, a soul-stirring reunion between Ty and Amy that could very well change everything we thought we knew about their love story. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to Next Door, and share your thoughts in the comments below. This moment is one that deserves to be shared, remembered, and talked about with fans just like you. Now, let's ride straight into the heart of it all. From the very first scene of Season 19, Episode 1, Heartland does something extraordinary. It doesn't open with dramatic music or grand declarations. Instead, it gives us a quiet stillness, a fog-covered Alberta morning, soft light breaking over the familiar land we've all grown to love. It's a landscape steeped in memory, and something about it feels different, like the air itself is holding its breath. We find Amy waking up just before dawn. The camera lingers on her face, older, wiser, but still carrying a quiet sadness. Her hand reaches instinctively for the other side of the bed, only to find it empty, as it has been for years. There's nothing overtly dramatic here, but the silence says everything. It's a routine and a pain she's grown used to. But today, there's a shift. She walks out to the barn, the air brisk, the horses restless. The birds are louder than usual. The wind stirs in a way that feels like change. And most tellingly, Amy is haunted by a dream, vivid, bright, real. In it, Ty stands by the barn, his expression calm, his hand reaching out to her. It's not the first time she's dreamed of him, but this one clings to her soul longer. It doesn't feel like a memory. It feels like a message. As the episode progresses, subtle clues begin to build. The dialogue between characters carries a sense of tension, a sense that something just under the surface is waiting to be revealed. Flashbacks blend into present moments. Conversations bring up old wounds. And yet, no one dares to voice what they're all feeling, the impossible hope that Ty might not be lost forever. And then, it happens. Midway through the episode, in a moment that left fans speechless, Ty appears. Not in a dream, not in a memory, but in the flesh. The familiar gravel crunches beneath his boots as he walks up the long Heartland driveway, framed by the light of the rising sun. He doesn't speak. He doesn't need to. His presence is enough to stop time. Amy, in the middle of grooming, Spartan, freezes. Something inside her shifts like a tremor in the soul. She turns around, expecting maybe Jack or Lou. But her breath catches. Her heart stops, and her eyes meet his. Ty. Alive. Real. For a few seconds, it's as if the entire world has vanished. There's only Amy and Ty, two souls staring at each other across years of pain and healing. Her voice is gone. Her hand trembles. The brush she was holding falls to the ground, forgotten. She walks to him slowly, as if afraid the moment will vanish if she moves too quickly. Her eyes search his face for signs that it's not another dream. When her fingers brush against his cheek, and she feels the warmth of his skin, the reality hits her like a wave. She falls into his arms, not just crying, sobbing. These aren't just tears of joy. They're tears that carry every sleepless night, every lonely morning, every question she asked the stars. This isn't just a reunion. It's a reckoning, a resurrection, a miracle. But if you thought Amy's reaction was emotional, wait until you witness Lindy's. Still just a young child, Lindy doesn't yet understand the full gravity of Ty's past or the hole his absence left behind. For her, life is still simple, built on trust, love, and the warm faces of family. She knows her father through stories, through photographs, through bedtime tales whispered by Amy, and gentle wisdom shared by Jack. And yet, when Ty walks through that door, she knows. There's no confusion, no hesitation, just awe. Her tiny voice cuts through the stillness. Daddy? Not a question, really. More of a knowing. A truth spoken aloud by a heart too young to doubt. The entire room freezes. Ty kneels, arms outstretched, and Lindy runs to him. It's the kind of scene that leaves no dry eyes. One that reminds us what this show is really about, not just love and loss, but the power of hope and the resilience of the human heart. This episode isn't just a fan service or a dramatic twist, it's a masterclass in emotional storytelling. It respects the journey, it honors the loss, and it gives us something truly rare on television: closure without erasure. Love that endures, and a future that feels earned. Ty's return marks not just the beginning of a new chapter for Heartland, it's a healing of old wounds for the characters and for us, the viewers, who have walked this journey beside them. So buckle up, Heartland fans. Because if episode 1 is any indication, season 19 is going to be one for the ages. She feels it in her heart. She runs into his arms with the unfiltered joy only a child can express. That embrace, innocent yet mighty, breaks down every wall of pain Amy and Ty had built between past and present. Lindy, in her innocence, becomes the emotional glue that begins to heal the family. Her purity, her instinctive trust, and her radiant love become a quiet but monumental force that reminds everyone what they're fighting for: family, forgiveness, and the future. Jack Bartlett has always been the cornerstone of Heartland's steady, as the ranch fence posts and wise beyond the years marked on his weathered face. So when Ty Borden returns alive and breathing, standing just beyond the gate he once walked through as a lost teenage boy, it's Jack who carries the weight of the moment with a silent gravity. He doesn't run to embrace him. He doesn't explode in joy or break down in tears. No, Jack does what he's always done. He watches, quietly studying the man who disappeared, the man who broke the hearts of the people Jack holds most dear, and the man he once considered his son. The silence hangs heavy until Jack steps forward. His eyes, deep with emotion, lock onto Ty's. "You've been gone a long time," he says, his voice rough like gravel but still steady. "And we've all paid a price for that." Ty begins to speak, an apology forming, but Jack lifts a hand to pause him. "I'm not ready to hear the why. Not yet. But I see you. And I see that you're here now. That means something, maybe everything." That moment, humble but profound, is Jack's way of opening the door, not just to his home, but to healing. His wisdom allows space for anger, forgiveness, and ultimately love. Because if anyone understands that life is made of second chances, it's Jack. And in the silence between his words, there's an unspoken welcome, a bridge Ty didn't know he still had. Lou Fleming has always been the one who took charge when everything fell apart. When Ty disappeared, she grieved with purpose, diving into work, into motherhood, into keeping Heartland together. But no amount of planning or structure could prepare her for the moment she saw Ty again. The first time her eyes meet his, she doesn't even speak. Her body freezes, breath caught in her throat, as a flood of emotions washes over her: shock, confusion, heartbreak, and a flicker of something dangerous: hope. She wants to scream, to cry, to demand answers. But she also wants to hug him. That duality makes her tremble. Later, she finds a moment alone with Ty. "You have no idea what your absence did to Amy," she says, her voice low and raw. "To Lindy. To all of us." Ty listens, shoulders heavy with the burden of truth. I wasn't running from you, he tells her gently. I was broken. And I thought staying away would protect you all from that brokenness. Lou's eyes well up. You didn't protect us, Ty. You shattered us, her voice cracks, but then softens. But maybe it's not too late to put the pieces back together. That's Lou, fierce in her convictions, yet big enough to hold space for redemption. She's not quick to forgive, but she wants to. Because deep down, Lou still believes in family, in healing, and in the idea that true, deep love can survive even the longest silences. Georgie Fleming Morris has grown into a strong, independent young woman since Ty's absence. His return reopens old wounds, but also brings clarity. Once the girl who looked up to Ty as a role model, Georgie now sees him through the lens of maturity. At first, she's skeptical, even cold. You can't just walk back into our lives like nothing happened, she tells him, her voice firm with the edge of someone who's known too much pain. But beneath that strength is a heart still aching for the man who helped guide her through some of her hardest years. As they speak privately, Ty acknowledges the hurt he's caused, not just to Amy and Lindy, but to Georgie too. He tells her how proud he is of the woman she's become, how he's followed her writing career from afar, always cheering her on in silence. That confession breaks her. The guarded wall crumbles, and she hugs him not with the enthusiasm of a child, but with the acceptance of a grown daughter who finally finds closure. George's response reflects her evolution. She's no longer the impulsive teen. She's a balanced, thoughtful woman who understands the complexity of life, love, and forgiveness. Tim Fleming is a man who's worn his mistakes like armor, never fully letting people see how deeply he feels. Ty's return shatters that shell in a way nothing else could. At first, Tim is furious. You disappeared, Ty, he snaps. Do you know what that did to Amy? To Lindy? He paces like a caged animal, his rage barely masking the pain of watching his daughter suffer all these years. But Tim's fury isn't just about Ty's actions. It's about his own failure to protect his family from that. Pain lingers as Tay stands silently, accepting every word. Tim's anger begins to crack. He walks away, takes a breath, and returns not as the defensive father, but as the man who once saw Ty as a son. I was angry because I cared, Tim admits, his voice soft for once. You were family. You still are. That emotional admission from a man like Tim is monumental. His tough exterior masks a deeply loyal, deeply feeling heart. Tay's return forces him to reckon with both. Their relationship won't heal overnight, but the path is now open. And Tim Gruff, guarded Tim, takes the first step by welcoming Ty back into the fold. When the chaos of reunion settles and the house grows quiet, Tay and Amy find themselves alone in the barn, the place where their love first grew, where their journey truly began. The lantern above casts a soft golden glow over the hay-strewn floor. The scent of horses and memory lingers in the air. Amy stands across from Ty, arms folded not in anger, but in pain she's held in for far too long. You broke me, she whispers, voice trembling. You disappeared, and every day I tried to be strong for Lindy, for myself, for the ranch. But part of me died when you didn't come back. Tay's eyes fill with tears as he steps closer. I know, he says, voice thick with emotion. And I will regret that for the rest of my life. I wasn't okay, Amy. I thought walking away was better than dragging you down into my darkness. Amy shakes her head, tears now falling freely. You don't get to decide that for me. We were a team. You left me to carry it all alone. Her pain is sharp, and Tay absorbs every word. I'm sorry, he says, barely above a whisper. I never stopped loving you. Not for a second. Every night, I dreamed of this, of you, of Lindy, of home. Amy looks at him, eyes red, heart torn. Do you think we could ever be us again? Ty reaches out, brushing a tear from her cheek. I don't know if we can go back. But maybe we can start again a new chapter. Not without pain, but with honesty. With love. Amy takes his hand hesitant, but hopeful. And in that moment, In the stillness of the barn, surrounded by memories and the quiet heartbeat of Heartland, they both realize something powerful. Healing doesn't mean erasing the past. It means choosing to walk forward together, even with the scars. And there you have it, Heartland fans. Tay Borden's grand return in Season 19, Episode 1 has stirred emotions, reopened old wounds, and reignited the hope we've all held onto for so long. From Jack's quiet wisdom to Lou's conflicted heart, from Lindy's innocent joy to Amy and Ty's deeply moving reunion, this episode gave us everything we've waited for. But the real question is, what happens next? We want to hear from you. How did Tay's return make you feel? Which moment touched your heart the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If you loved this breakdown and want more Heartland stories, theories, and episode deep dives, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Next Door, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, stay kind, stay hopeful, and keep flying with Next Door. See you in the next one.